Hey, welcome back to my channel. This is Living to Learn. I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day, out of your busy life to watch my video, to listen to my content, hear what I have to share today. It means a lot that you're here. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Please share these videos with anyone you think is going to benefit from what I'm discussing today or any other video I've done in the past. Now, before we get started, I do want to remind you, in the description of the video, you're going to find my TikTok and Instagram handle at Live to Learn Coaching. You can follow me there for more content. You can also reach out to me directly if you have any questions. If you want to pick my brain about something, you just want to say hi, that's the best way to do it, at Live to Learn Coaching. Also, in the description of the video, there's 3 opportunities to support my channel financially. And I want to thank everyone who has done that so far, because it really means a lot. It shows that you are invested in what I'm trying to do here. And your support means everything. So thank you for your financial support. Now let's get started. We just finished a series last week about what to do, when things are getting ugly, when things are getting rough. And it was a reference to just sometimes the rough patches, the rough seasons, the things that we are enduring as people, as human beings, as men, as women, or however you identify, what it is that we're going through. And sometimes it gets ugly. It's a saying. It's a common saying. It's something that's been said. It's something that's been shared amongst us. And it's a common saying, right? Things get ugly. And so we finished up that series last week, and I hope that that was helpful. Again, everything I share on here is not just intended for me to tell anyone anything. It's intended for me to share some of the things that have been helpful to me, and hopefully those things will be helpful to you as well. Now today I'm being very specific in this topic, and before I get into what I'm talking about today, I want to make something very clear, and I've done this on other videos as well. I'm here to support anyone who can use what I'm saying, what I'm sharing, for their lives to improve their own lives. I do not care what you identify as gender-wise. I do not care what religion or non-religion you have. I'm not concerned about anything but helping people. So I want to be clear about that. However, my expertise as far as life experience is how I identify, and who I identify as is a man, a heterosexual male. So my topic today is specific for men, because that is who I can relate to the most, because that is how I have identified ever since I was 18 years old. So I wanted to make that clear really quick. And it's not that I'm, concerned or no one has accused me of anything before. So I'm not trying to apologize for anything. I don't think that there's anything for me to apologize for. But I just wanted it to be a reminder, because I think, especially in this day and age, when we see a title like the one I have today, and it's very specific, it can trigger some people, it can rub some people the wrong way, and I definitely want to be sensitive to that. I am not fully aware of it all. I am not fully understanding of it all. I am not God. I am not a God. I'm just a person. So I want to be sensitive to people, and I want to try to be as inclusive and embrace as many as possible. So that's what the brief description and explanation was for. But what I'm talking about today is specifically designed and directed toward men, like myself. And it's about when a man wants to quit, when a man wants to give up, when a man has had enough. Now, I want to share something with you, and I've told you this before about my background, my upbringing. I was raised in a religious upbringing. I was raised in the Christian faith, and I come from a long line of ministers. I come from a long line of believers, and like I've said before in previous videos, I am grateful, I am thankful, and I realize how lucky, how fortunate I've been from the time I was a boy till now in this life. So I have nothing against the church. I have nothing against Christianity. I have nothing against the faith. I had a great experience growing up. But with that experience came exposure to certain things, certain judgments. I'll just call it like it is. And I remember one of the things that was always floating around in those environments was, divorce. When people separated from each other in marriage, that was seen as a very bad thing. It was seen as taboo. And there was scripture that was referenced. And it was talked about as though, if you are a true believer, then you'll never get divorced. And growing up, I carried that with me. I remember judging people when I was in my late teens, early 20s. And I think about how foolish I sounded, having no life experience really, having never been in a serious relationship before, having never been married. Those are things that I look back on and I think, I had it wrong. Because I didn't understand what it was to be in those individuals' shoes. Now, I've gotten some life experience under my belt. Now I understand why certain things happen. And I take on a new perspective. And my perspective now matches my channel name, Living to Learn. I am inclined to be a learner. I want to learn. I want to know more. I want to grow my mind, my understanding, and my capacity for learning. So now, when we talk about people giving up, when we talk about people quitting, when I talk about men quitting, why does when a man wants to quit, I'm not just talking about something I've heard or seen or read about. I'm talking about something that I understand, that I've tasted, that I've felt. When a man feels like there is no other option, there is no other recourse than to, as they say in boxing, throw in the towel. That's symbolic. In boxing, when the corner of the boxer throws the towel in onto the ring, that means get my fighter out of there. He's done. It's not going to get better. He's not going to be able to turn it around. That fighter's not going to be able to turn the tables. If it continues, if the fight continues, it's just going to get worse for our fighter. And this is symbolic to what happens to us in life at times. We are ready to throw in the towel. When a man wants to quit, when a man wants to give up, when a man says he's had enough, there's nothing, I don't want to say there's nothing, I can imagine few things that feel worse to a man than having to admit and having to face the fact that giving up and quitting is the only option. Do I believe in fighting? Do I believe in striving? Do I believe in trying and trying and trying and trying? Absolutely. I do. But I also believe, just like a fighter in a boxing match, all the training, all the prepping, all the game plan, all the skill, all of that they have that is readily available for them to use, which is why they're in the ring in the first place, that they would still find themselves in situations where it just was not going to be enough. And the only course of action is to quit. Now, I've made videos about not quitting. I've made videos about doing something else instead of quitting. But I think that it's important for me, as a life coach, as a man, to give permission. I'm no one of authority. I'm no one special. But to tell you, if this is for you, that if that is the absolute only choice that you have, does it make you less of a man? It doesn't make you a failure. And it doesn't mean that that's going to be the pattern of your life from here on out. Because whatever it is you have to quit makes room for something new. And I want to close with this quote that my grandfather used to quote. And I don't know if it was his saying, I don't know if he got it from somewhere, But he told me this once and it stuck with me. He said, success and failure share this in common. They're both liars. What does that mean? Well, if I have achieved some success, yes, I should stop and enjoy it and appreciate it. But I should understand that that's not going to carry me through the rest of my life. There will still be more achievements to be had. If I fail, yes, I can recognize that I've failed, that I messed up. But don't let that tell me that now this is going to be the driving force of your life. This is the direction that your life is headed because you failed. That's a lie. That's what that saying means to me. So for my men, my guys out there, if this hits home, if you know another man, another person even, again, if you don't identify as a man, you still take something away from this, I'm happy to give it to you. So if you know another person that could really use this message, make sure you share this video with them. I'm here to remind you you're not by yourself, even if I'm just a guy on YouTube. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a great day.